Early quarterback, when do you implement it? When do you not implement it? When do you go late quarterback shopping? If you go early quarterback shopping, should you plan for it? Or should best player available land you in that direction? Of course, that's the answer. It's always best player available. But I'll show you when maybe you go early quarterback and you still draft a mid-range quarterback. You go bully QB, baby. We'll try it out. The Fantasy Football Show quarterback edition, then live draft edition, because that's how we do it. That's how we've been doing it for years now here on the channel. We don't just come in here and do a little draft, just boring draft over and over. So many people do that. They just come in, you just see the draft board, and you're like, oh, another draft stream. It's fun to do it. I'm not saying we don't do it. Underdog, promo code Smitty. Smash the link. I'm dropping it in the live chat. It's in the description of the video. But there's more to life than just drafting over and over. We got to talk about the concepts, the ways to dominate using the draft as the accessory of the show. The draft isn't the show, it's an accessory of the show. The Fantasy Football Show Graveyard Edition begins right now. File on it.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Smitty, are we drafting or are we... Of course we're drafting. But we are going to attack strategy and concept and theory and try and get you into a position where you're making your weaknesses into strengths. You're able to dominate your opponents because you're practicing good theory. And we're here talking about the theory of early quarterback. When to implement it, when not to implement it. And it's an interesting, debate because people will always have like a stance, it seems, like, I don't go early quarterback, I draft so-and-so later. Like that's leaving meat on the bone. I'll be honest with you right now. The answer is of when do you go quarterback shopping, when do you not? This is it. I'm going to spoil the whole episode, but then there's implementation and different, valuations. But the answer is very simple. You don't plan anything. You let the draft fall. You go best player available. If best player available opens the door to a early QB, you take it. If you're sitting there and you're in round number 2, or you're in 3, 4. So here's 3, here's 4, and JD5 is sitting right here at the top of round 4 or right at the turns. Then you're considering this pick, of course, but who's there? Did Kyren Williams fall? Kyren's been going later and later. Does Breece Hall fall? Breece Hall goes at 4.1, 4.2 all the time. So, do I contemplate going RB? Sure. Did Hampton fall? Maybe we consider Hampton here. That makes me punt quarterback a little longer, and I go Mahomes shopping at around 6 and 7. So all of it is around best player available. There is no cementing in of any variety. There's no, I go wide receiver. Maybe best player available is opening that door more often than not, and you're recognizing that pattern, but do not walk into a draft and say, this is what I'm doing. Plain and simple. That is the dumbest way to deploy a strategy, is I'm going to go hero RB. Hero RB might be fantastic, and it might work just beautifully with your draft. But I don't want anybody going in and trying to implement a strategy without first looking at the board. Who's available? What players are you potentially going to be looking to grab? Who's falling that shouldn't fall? We're going to attack that and more. We're going to open up phone lines too. Let's open the phone lines early on. Let's just open them right now. Jump into actually, let's see. What are we doing here? First of all, open the phone lines. Let me hit the phone line button here.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
We'll take a few phone calls and we'll jump into, I'm not sure what we're going to get into yet. There's a few that we haven't done. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to get into yet. Let's wait a second. Let's open the phone lines. Let's talk about this topic for a few minutes, and then we'll jump into a draft. Phone numbers on screen.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Philip is trying to feed you some hogwash over here. Let's see what Phil's Phil's message says, let me read it with the megaphone to give you the proper attention you deserve, Phil. Phil says, if you draft Milroe, you deserve to lose the league. They just paid Sam. They did? They just paid Sam Darnold, Philip? Oh, man. Should I just close the live stream down and restart, Philip? Jeez. If only Philip were here earlier. And, you know, we would have known what Philip was saying, and we would have been able to avoid this. I can't believe I've been talking about Milroe this whole time, Philip. I feel like such a fool. I feel like such a fool, Philip. Good thing you're here.
Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a big lap. Take one and...
Get into a puppy. Do it live. Hit the button. Puppy draft on Underdog. If you're not ready and have the app open, I can't help you. Like, I'm trying to. Next time I can. And we might even do 2 in a row. Okay? Because we're going to do 20-second drafts. And that will help us to smash out a couple. So hit the puppy draft green button right now. If you haven't, you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't know how to get into the draft, just hit this link right here. Smash it. And code Smitty will get you in. It filled up pretty quickly. These fill up very fast right now. Jump in. Let me put it on screen here. And we'll share screen and start said draft. Okay? Hit the puppy link. Jump in. Even if you don't get into the one I'm in, just get into any old puppy and start drafting. Countdown is happening as we speak. We are a full house in the building. File in. Hit that thumb up button on your way in the door, please. Okay, here we go. First pick overall, Jamar Chase. Second, Saquon Barkley. What pick do I have? CeeDee Lamb. Pick 8. This will be interesting. And we're going to try, if we can, to deploy early quarterback, if it's possible. A real doubting Daryl. I love when people come in here and try and tell me what time it is. Hey, Smitty. Like some guy trying to tell me about injury on Instagram in the comments. He's like, Smitty, let me tell you about ACLs. Like, bro, why don't you go get me a coffee? All right, here we go. Back to the draft. 7 seconds. It's counting down. Let's go, Malik. Malik season, baby. At the 8 spot, I'm here for it. I like it. Did Genty already go? Oh God, Genty went 7. Genty's going like 7, 8 like clockwork now. He's not even falling at all. Oh man, we cleaned up in the top of round 2 all off season. But that time, that ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. I'm going to keeper league and drafted JD5 in the 9th round and Malik Neighbors in the 4th round. Who should you keep? If it's a non-super flex, you're keeping Malik Neighbors. There's not even a debate here, bro. If it's super flex, you're keeping JD5, and it's not even a debate. Like there's no debate on either side of that, my bro. All right, so went Puka, Brian Thomas, Amon-Ra, Christian McCaffrey, Nico, Devon Achane, Bowers, and Drake London. Your boys on the clock here. We've got man. I guess I'm looking at. I like McBride a lot here. JT's not bad. I'm going to go the Buckmeister. Let's go, Bucky.
Get buckied. Buckied. Buckied.
That's a new one. All right, well, Bucky and Malik on the same squad together. I like it. I think that's how it should be in the NFL. We're going to try and implement early QB, and I'm going to try and do it. I'm going to try and do it without using the top 3 round picks if possible, but it depends on the flow. You know, it depends who's there. If I don't like anything that's there at my pick, because I'm a ways back, I'm at pick 8 in the 3rd round. I'm at, the 8 slot. There's a chance that like Josh Allen or JD5 is the best option, and that might be perfect for this topic, of when to execute. Because what you're going to end up doing is You make a decision, a determination. You're on the clock. You're sitting there in round 3. This is how you determine whether you're drafting QB. You're sitting there in round 3. You're right there. And you don't like these players here. They're just names. They're names you feel pressured to draft because you're said to. You got to take these players. If I don't see Kyren and Hall and players like that, I'm taking JD5. I'm taking Josh Allen. Those are the... Okay, I'm on the clock here. Hold on. Adams, Rice, Josh Allen, Breece Hall. So Breece Hall's there. Let's just do Josh Allen. Let's implement the early QB. Hall is debatable. I love Breece Hall, and he might even come back to us. You never know. He's been falling quite a bit, and this is a wide receiver hungry environment. So I could almost kick that can a little bit and see what happens. And if not, there's plenty of players I like. So we're going to go ahead and punt that. Kyren didn't fall. You see Kyren went 30. Chase Brown went 25. Then a plethora of wide receivers. Tyreek Hill's finally falling where he kind of deserves to be. MHA still a steal in round 3. Garrett Wilson's still a steal in round 3. JSN's back to a steal in round 3. Love that. Breece Hall went at the turn. Probably one of you snipers because Travis Hunter and Breece Hall together. Hunter at the 3.12. Which one of you... I mean, he is going in the 4th round, but which one of you snipers is in there pushing him into round 3 at all? You should at least switch those. Give Hunter a 4th round ADP for goodness sakes. God, we cleaned up. The biggest land of the channel already this season is Travis Hunter. There's no doubt about what we did. I like Hampton here. I'm going to go Hampton. So my team so far, Josh Allen, Bucky, Hampton, and Neighbors. That's a good early quarterback execution right there. Travis, you're live. Phone line's open.
Hey, what's up? So when did you say the cutoff is for early QB? Is it round 3 or round 4, would you say?
I don't think there is a cutoff. I think, it depends on, like in my mind, Mahomes is an early quarterback, but because he falls so far, I think we can, like, in theory say that's our, like, sneaky mid-round quarterback that you shouldn't be getting, and we just take him out. But at the end of the day, if he climbed into 4 or 5, I think he's deserving of it. But I totally take advantage of what we're getting. But I would say at the end of the day, early quarterback is probably considered 2nd, 3rd, and I think some would say 4th, but I don't know that it would be a universal round that people. I mean, there's no for sure anything. Like, you can define it however you want. Just like when I say a 1st round sleeper, 2nd round sleeper, 3rd round sleeper, and people come in here and they act like they're telling me something. Smitty, you can't call a 2nd rounder a sleeper. Smitty, did you just say a guy at the end of round 1 was a sleeper? I'll say whatever the hell I want. But yeah, early quarterback is just I don't think there's a true universal definition. Like, look at Jalen Hurts. He's still an early quarterback. He's falling to 5. So that's great value. Jalen Hurts at 5 is insane.
Burrow, his ADP is what? 4?
Yeah, Burrow 5.1. That's crazy. That's insane. Pittman. DK Metcalf. It really sucks, Harvey. Drafting with your own people sucks. Harvey's 1 spot away. I had Harvey sitting right there and laser locked. I'm going to go Trey Henderson here, though. So I like Trey Henderson and Harvey, near the same long term and, near the same in redraft. But Bucky, Hampton, Trey, Josh Allen, and Neighbors. Not freaking out about wide receiver. I know some people would, but I'm not. I tend to look at the board a different way than other people. I tend to look at this Rome Odunze, DK Metcalf, who I like a lot. Sutton, Zay Flowers in round 4, J-Mo in round 4, DJ Moore in round 4, Devontae Smith in round 4, Ted McMillan in round 4, Xavier Worthy I like a lot, but round 4. These are all players that are not far off from the player I'm about to take if I grab a receiver here. So I'm getting so much more value at RB quarterback that this is where I punt wide receiver for a little bit. Chris Godwin. So there's 2 picks until I'm up. Patrick Mahomes, that's a great pick right there. I would have considered him. Now, I'm in Snipe City again. I'm drafting with my own people. There's a chance that the guys I'm targeting don't fall. Debo did fall, so I think Debo's a fantastic pick here. Kind of makes me wish I had JD5, but that's still okay. So the build so far looks fantastic. I've Josh Allen, Bucky, Hampton, Trey Henderson, Malik Neighbors, Debo Samuel. I'm pretty good. I would love to have Harvey, but you win some, you lose some. Damn Joe. Joe, where are you? Right. What do I have here? Yeah, Bucky. So here's my team on the far right in order: Neighbors, Bucky, Josh Allen, Hampton, Trey Henderson, Debo. Looking good. What else you got?
Yeah, just looking at the QBs, and I'll see if you agree or not. I've seen people say QB is really deep, which I agree with to a point. But in terms of guys that you can draft and just set and forget and think, okay, I'm going to get what I think I'm going to get, I think there's only 5, maybe 6. It would be Allen, Lamar, 85, Hurts, Burrow, and Mahomes. Everyone else you could make some type of argument that they could let you down or, not perform up to last year's standards. A guy like Mayfield or Goff or even a Bo Nix, second year. I believe in him, but I think there's really only those 6 guys that you can set and forget.
I like Nix. I like Nix and Dak, stacking those two together.
Yep.
What's his Philip? We'll call him Hater Philip. Hater Philip says take Milrose. At least spell his name right, bro. Don't add an S onto the end of it. It's like people say Debo Samuels. How you get to give anybody advice or no advice or a non-advice when you can't even say the name right, bro? And you bet your bottom dollar I'll take him in the round 18 just for you, and it's gonna win me the league because it gives you something special and unique that people don't have. And if you don't believe in him, that's one thing. Sure, you don't believe in him, that's fine. I don't care. Think I'm gonna lose sleep over you not buying into it? I could care less, bro. Okay, where am I going here? Cooper Cup. I'm gonna go Ibuka here. It's a little early, not too early, but a little early. But I need a third wide receiver. I really like Ibuka in best ball. I could even grab Jalen McMillan later. But Debo, Ibuka, and Neighbors, not a bad trio. Kirk Cousins is perps. Kirk Cousins is. Yeah, what do you guys do when you add these S's? What do you do when the player already ends in an S? You add another one? What are you doing? Higgins is. I don't tend to draft Higgins is in the second round, but he starts to look better in the third round.
So, another thing I'm seeing in the chat, someone said drafting Debo is risky business. Which,
good.
I mean, there's some
tell
risk
everybody,
to him, but look at who else is in the area he is.
Tell
Ryan
everybody.
Robinson, Ridley, Swift, Njoku, ETN. Those are the guys around them. Reed,
man.
I'll have risk.
I took the scat man here. I love my running back stable. So Josh Allen, Bucky, Hampton, Trey Henderson, Scataboo, rookie trio right there. Neighbors, Debo, Ibuka. Doing it live. I love people that doubt Debo or they've heard it somewhere. Nick, wait a minute.
And the risk is built into where you're drafting him this year.
Yeah. Hello. Debo, Smitty. I love people that doubt Debo or they've heard it somewhere.
He saw it on another channel. He's a repeating Roger.
Debo is not going to do good, Smitty. I heard it. Everybody drop a parrot. Everybody drop a parrot emoji, please. He's not going to. He can't do it, Smitty. He just can't do it. It's not likely to happen, Smitty. Who's available? Don't take Caleb, guys. Don't do it. Please don't take him. I've got him queued up. Oh, you took him. Thank God. Don't love the receivers here. I think I'm again in punting wide receiver mode. Jaden Higgins is okay. But I don't think it's worth passing on certain opportunities here. Now, I punted tight end long enough. I think I'm going to probably go Mark Andrews here and then grab Likely. Just because yeah, I think it's just at least I'm showing process, and if someone wants to step on it just to ruin their own draft, that's fine. Josh Allen, to go as loaded as I've on each position, ignore tight end. If I get Likely and I cuffed it too, I think it's a fantastic bet in best ball, because I do think Lamar is gonna, at the end of the day, best ball out of the tight end spot, we're probably looking at. Thank you for all the parrot emojis. I think we're looking at like 10 touchdowns minimum. You can't predict injury. I could do a damn pretty good job at it, Devin. Been doing it since you were born, pal.
Yeah, some guys are more prone than others, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't buy into the every guy is just as likely to get injured as the other. I don't ever buy that.
Yeah. Oh, Wayne, thanks for taking Charbonnet, you sniper.
If you're coming up, let me know. I was going to ask, how often do you want to pair Najee with Hampton, or would you rather just take them separately?
Higgins still fell, so I took him there. I didn't want to take him earlier. He's been there for a while, so that wasn't a bad move, I think, there. How Kyle Williams, damn it, he went early. Damn, Miles, he's sniping early, bro. I think Najee is somebody that in best ball I would cuff him, but I have almost zero interest in non-best ball worrying about that. I mean, it depends where he goes too. Like, where's Najee going? Maybe somebody stays clear of him. Did he already get taken? Did he? I don't even know.
Yeah. That's why I waited to ask.
I'm looking to see if he's been taken, because like that's really how much his ADP is like wildly unknown, because it's still dropping. So where did he go?
6.9, I think, is around where he's going.
He went at 80. He went in the 8th round. No thanks. No, thank you.
And I think his ADP is higher than that.
Yeah, I have zero interest in. All right, so I want to say Kyle Williams. You took him so early, Miles. I mean, like really early, bro. I'm tempted to not say anything. I try and talk it out. I think it's important to hear your boy's thoughts, but I'm just, let's see here. Josh Allen. I'm going to go Dak here because I really want to have a solid backup quarterback. I really like Dak in best ball as my second QB. And the next best player, looking down the board, I like Benson a lot this year. Gorendo I love. Jalen McMillan I could cuff. Penix Jr. is fantastic. Bigsby I like. Ray Davis is fantastic. All right, I think that's good for now. Unless he gets sniped. And let me guess, Miles took Bigsby. No. I think I'm going to take Likely here. I can't risk it. He's already like showing up as, no scroll. He's there before you can even scroll. So my team is looking like this. Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Bucky, Hampton, Trey, Henderson, Scottaboo. Neighbors, Debo, Egbuka, Jaden Higgins, Andrews, and Likely. Feel really good at the tight end position. I could ignore that until the very end of the draft. But yeah, Dak is one of the best values in fantasy, and again, like my earlier show when I suggested it. By the way, we're about 20 subscribers away from 32K. So if everybody in the chat right now could hit that subscribe button, it's really strange how many people don't. They'll watch every day and they'll just pull it up. Like, subscribing helps the channel a lot. Hit that subscribe button. We're 20 something, roughly 21 away from 32K, which I'll change the sign behind me to 32K out live on the show if we hit it. So please subscribe if you're new. I forget what I was saying. Dak is a steal. Just a steal. Like, he has no business in a double-digit rounds. It's crazy. But I said earlier on my show today, though, that I think that despite that great value for this year, I like cuffing him to Milton and best ball, especially if it's like a 20 round draft like the earlier drafts. I just think that no matter what, that duo of Milton and Dak will produce, and I think Milton eventually takes Dak's job in time, and it doesn't even affect how much of a steal Dak is in 2025, though. He's still a monster steal. Okay, McMillan's still there. Might as well do that. That's pretty protective measure there. I've got Egbuka and McMillan. I've got Higgins. I've got Debo and Malik. Anders and Likely feel like a really, really solid team, like a lot of safeguards. And some people don't like the safeguards of like, hey, I'd rather draft an entirely different player that has nothing to do with the cuff. There's different strategies. Those people aren't wrong, or there's no right or wrong. It's more about like what you believe will be true, what you can implement. So
I really like the Egbuka and McMillan like pair later in the draft, like you did.
Yep, Dak is a total steal. Total steal. I mean, you could go Dak and Kyler, Dak and Penix Jr. You could go all those boys to get like a duo like that.
Especially when he's your QB2, because like how many QB2s that you think have ever been top 5 QB?
And you're not, no one's saying draft him as your QB1 either.
Right.
Yep. All right, on the clock here. Dylan Sampson, welcome to the rookie club, pal. We've got only rookies below Bucky. We got Bucky, then 4 rookies: Hampton, Henderson, Scatterboo, Dylan Sampson. No one can ever claim that I'm not a rookie connoisseur. Don't listen to him, Devin. Dak is fine. Dak goes in the 11th and 12th and 10th round, bro. And he's your second quarterback. And in best ball, what you got to understand about that is those pop-off games, those spike weeks, they happen. Dak will have those games, bro. Doesn't matter. And in a situation like this, you know, I'm either drafting Milrow or I'm cuffing Milton to Dak because Dak is my second quarterback. So I missed 2 consecutive picks. What? Am I up in another draft?
Oh, must have. You said go to drafts. Yeah.
What is going on here?
Autopiloted.
Autopilot. What are you doing back there? Who did I autopilot on? Oh, man. I don't know how that... I was already on autopilot on just one draft. But it was just one. It was just sitting down there. I didn't notice it.
At least there's just one.
Let's see. Jalen Royals.
Someone else on the phone?
Yeah, Justin, what's up?
Yeah, I'm on.
What's going on?
What's good? Hey, so like, I understand that you have like little to no interest in Rome Odunze, but I'm starting to see him like fall into like 75 territory. Like I saw him go 80 one draft earlier. Like, at what point do we start to say like there's a possibility that might just be their number one wide receiver if he takes a leap? Like, where does he start to like have value to you? 'Cause he's shooting down.
Yeah, no, I think that Burden affects his value quite a bit. But I don't mind him as a, bench player, no doubt. But how far, down the bench, I don't know. Hard to say. Like anywhere as a wide receiver 4, I would be in. He can go higher than that, but as a 4, I'm okay. I don't know that I put a lot of eggs in, one basket in regards to it, but certainly am interested. I never said I didn't like Odunze. I like Odunze. I just hate his situation, but it doesn't mean I don't. I like Burden. Burden and Odunze are two of my more favorite highly ranked before the NFL draft wide receivers over the last, handful of years. Really, they just landed in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mess. It's a mess to decipher their situation, like that pass catcher. Because on one hand, it's like you got the wide receivers, but you also got Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet, but like they can't get rid of Cole Kmet because I saw something that basically if a team trades for Cole Kmet, they have to like eat the $30 million or some shit like that. Like there's $30 million of dead cap that the new team has to eat.
Yeah. Hold on one second, bro. Sorry. I'm done with RB. I drafted a boatload. Honestly, I think I'm done at.
Something to be noted too, like in the Bears world, is Ben Johnson keeps on taking shots at DJ Moore at the podium. Like
Bro,
he said something about players need to like have good work ethic even when they're not getting thrown the ball, and like everyone in that world was like, yeah, he was specifically talking about DJ Moore.
Bro, I know why I'm autopiloted on sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Justin. I think I joined 2 drafts at the same time. I thought I joined on my iPad when I was first trying to join a draft, and it seemed to have an error, and then I tried to join again. And so that first draft is what timed out. I'm like, I don't ever miss picks. I'm never on autopilot. I never miss a pick. So I'm like, how is this? I'm like looking at this. I didn't mean to not pay attention to much what you're saying, Justin. I'm sorry. I was doing research on this, and I figured out that it was just the most recent one. When we joined this one, it joined another one at the same time. So I timed out on McCaffrey. I never draft McCaffrey. So that's interesting to have that. I'll read this team off in a second, but I'm on the clock over here. I need a quarterback. Let's go with good old. Let's go with good old. I'm gonna go Jalen Milroe. Damn it!
Not. Where did you see that thing about the dead cap on that? I'm not seeing anything about that.
I timed out. Damn it!
I don't remember if I read it or I heard it on like a podcast or something. But that's a thing though. Like if you hold on.
Hey, question real quick, boys. Real quick. I got 2 quarterbacks. I got 2 tight ends. I only got 1 more pick left. I've got Dak. I've got Dak and Josh Allen, and I've got Likely and Andrews. Should I just leave the Likely and Andrews thing alone, given that I'm guaranteed, pretty much a starter all year except for the bye week?
Get another tight end, dude. Tight end is such a variant. Like, unless they like Andrews gets hurt or something, then it's like you just have Likely.
Yeah, but same thing could happen with quarterback.
I would get.
Same thing would happen with quarterback.
I'd get another QB, but
yeah,
I think Justin likes his tight end, right?
Okay, the question is.
But the thing with quarterback is like historically a more consistent position in terms of like actual production. Like a tight end will get like 3 catches for 30 yards in one game and get like 12 catches for like 2 TDs another game. It's just it's just such a high variance position.
Yeah, but you're also talking about the tight ends that are left, bro, are almost like dart throws. I like Fannin a lot, and I'm thinking about taking.
But don't you like? Do you like Taysom Hill? Is he left? To me, I think Taysom Hill's a hack because he's never just not gotten.
Bro, he's like.
I don't mind going Fannin there. A guy like Fannon's still there.
Not healthy. Okay.
I was assuming it was.
All right, hold on.
To catch passes.
Hold on. Yeah, I just went Milrow. So, I've got Josh Allen, Dak Prescott. I like taking Milton a lot with Dak in this situation. If I didn't time out, I would have already done that. But Bucky, Hampton, Henderson, Scat, Dylan Sampson, Sean Tucker, cuff to Bucky. I've got Neighbors, Debo, Agbuka, Higgins, McMillan, Ayamanor, Michael Wilson, and then Andrews likely just going to bank on having 0 points at tight end that 1 week. And then, the odds of both of them going down are a lot lower than let's say Dak gets hurt and then the bye week's coming up. And I'd rather have the way I look at it is I'd rather have the higher scores, multiple of the higher scores. So the quarterback position scores so many points, whereas the tight end position, I'm not, the stabs in the dark that I'm taking, they could be getting zeros all year until like Fannin, as much as I love Fannin, it was one of those things where like he could be taking a 0 for 4, 5, 6 weeks and not really helping me any. So I went with the quarterback. But all right, hold on 1 second. Let me just look at this team real quick. I've got Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Milrow, Bucky, Hampton, Henderson, Scottaboo, Dylan Sampson, Sean Tucker, Malik, Neighbors, Debo, Agbuka, Higgins, McMillan. Yeah, I like it. Wished I didn't time out, but it is what it is. In my other draft, I've got Hurts, McCaffrey, I timed out on. Brees Hall, Harvey, and Neighbors. And I'm going to go Debo. So this is a pretty good, this ended up being a pretty good team. I should probably switch over to that team. Hold on. Let's go over to that. Where is this draft? 19 picks away. Let me swing over here. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Let me close this. I'm on iPad. I gotta open it. I gotta close it and reopen it to see drafts for some reason that I've joined recently, like caches it or something. Okay, weekly winners. So this is a weekly winner that I tried to join. So this is a good team. Timed out on McCaffrey. I normally don't take him, but pretty good. Neighbors, Debo, Harvey, Brees Hall, McCaffrey, Jalen Hurts, weekly winner. Now, the thing is on McCaffrey, I don't mind timing out on McCaffrey in weekly winner because in weekly winners, like McCaffrey could have 5 games or something that are great. So I'm fine with that. Get Garendo, I'll be good. I'll be real good. In fact, I would
say that's probably like the best platform for him.
Yeah.
Him specifically.
Henry.
Like, yeah, that's his thing.
Henry, CMC. Right, hold on, let me get Rock Out in here. What's up, Rock Out? You're live.
What's up? Good.
Rock Out.
Yeah, can I give you my team so far?
Sure.
Yeah, this league might get thrown out because someone took like 4 quarterbacks in the first 7.
No.
But my team is Kyron Williams, R.J. Harvey, Montgomery, Neighbors, London, Hunter, and Samuel so far.
Nice. I might just leave this draft up. I mean, rather than start another and ruin this one, I think I'm just going to keep rolling with this one. Let you guys watch me damage control.
Hey,
McCaffrey's auto draft, but again in weeklies, I'm not that concerned about it, especially if I get Garendo. What's up?
Hey, Rock Out, is the guy's name who like took like 1 million quarterbacks? Is his name like Night Stoker or something like that?
Let me check. Hold on, give me a second.
Because that guy's in like hella drafts, just drafting like his first 4 picks will all be like quarterbacks or something. Like that's like that guy.
This is Dog Beast.
All right. Rock Out. Where quarterback do you have?
I'm about to get one next round.
Okay. All right, I'm coming back to my pick. Let me show you the board real quick. So I went Neighbors, timed out on McCaffrey, weekly winners, don't care, that's fine. Hurts, Brees Hall, RJ Harvey, Debo, these are all good spike week players anyway. Next available player that I like is probably, damn, it got kind of dry here. I like Waddle, but he probably won't make it. He's the highest ranked player. There he goes. Usually people in the 7th round and on, nobody kind of floats too long at the top. Not too long at all. All right, here we go. Olave just went. Bo Nix just went. I'm 2 picks away. Cooper Kupp's interesting in weeklies. Pickens is kind of good here in weeklies. Ricky Pearsall is okay. I'm gonna roll with. I'll go with Cooper Kupp here. All right, hold on. Let me merge this color. DJ, you're live. What can I do for you? What's up?
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt your pick. I tend to fade quarterbacks, sort of what Travis was saying in terms of, Allen, JD5, Mahomes, be it 4 or 5, which is why I tend to have all of these Richardsons, right or wrong, Fields, and players like that, on my roster. If I can grab a Dak Prescott later, perfectly fine. So I tend to fade quarterbacks if I can't get.
But you're not fading a quarterback when you take JD5, or it's not really fading quarterback.
Oh no.
Yeah, you just take. That's
right. But if I can't get them where I think it makes sense, I don't stress my quarterback.
Well, I mean, that's best player available. That's essentially what I'm saying. Is like you take the player that is the best player available every pick, and so quarterback only becomes the best player available when there's a shortage in rounds 2 and 3 anyway. Like, you should never be taking a quarterback in 2 or 3 if you love the RBs or wide receivers, because those are going to outweigh the quarterback, especially when Mahomes is going 6-7, when JD5 can go 3-4, when Hurts can go 4 or 5. Hurts has been going 5 a lot later. Or a lot more recently, he's been going like 5.1, 5.2. So, yeah, I mean, but that's not fade. I wouldn't label that fading quarterback. That's not fading quarterback at all. Okay. Quarterback anywhere in like the 3-4 range, you're still taking a top 4 or 5 quarterback, so you're definitely not fading them. But yeah, it's great to wait to 3 or 4. And Burrow around 4. I mean, look in this draft right here. Burrow around 4. Mahomes went around 6, around 5 in this draft. But yeah, it tends to be a much better proposition for me to get Mahomes and scoop up like an extra Hampton or Brees Hall, but going early quarterback's fine by me too. In this draft, I timed out on. I took Hurts in the 3rd in this one, but this is weekly winner. Sometimes these quarterbacks have a higher ADP in weekly winner. Look at Lamar Jackson in the weekly winners. He's got a much higher ADP. Josh Allen's in the round 2 in weekly winners. Jaden Daniels went at 24 overall in weekly winners. So weekly winners is a lot more QB happy, as it should be, because it scores the most points. So you're going to get, everyone's going to go up a round or so kind of on weekly winners.
What in that round 2, I don't know how far you are from having to have a pick. I don't want to interrupt your flow. But in round 2, who went in that round with the QB? It's current draft that I'm looking at.
I'm sorry. Can you ask the question again?
I was asking you round 2. I was trying to see what players went off the board
in weekly winners.
The QB
in weekly winners.
Yeah. Or this draft here. No, in this draft here.
Made Jaden.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Okay. Let me see. Daniels, Irving, Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar, Josh Allen, JD5, Burrow went 3 instead of 4. Hurts went in round 3 instead of 4 or 5 by me. Mahomes went 5 instead of 6, 7.
Right.
So everyone's up a good round, at least in weekly winners. Just because you're trying to win 20K in 1 week, there's no accumulation.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Yeah, at some point I'm going to jump on one of those weekly winner drafts.
Yeah, weekly winners, they're probably my favorite, even though I draft less of them than like Best Ball Mania. Just because like you could have your entire team get injured and you're, in week 1 or something, or you could have your main 2 guys get hurt and you're done in a normal contest. But in weekly winners, you can come back, and all you got to do is have everybody come together for 1 week. So it's really exciting. It's, hard to win. I mean, I've been like really high, because it's funny because there's so many people that have the same players, right? In weekly winners, you could literally be in like 34th place winning. 34th place would get you, let's see, hold on. In weekly winners, 34th place would get you or let's use it. Let's use a high dollar place. Let's say you're in 7th place or 9th place or 10th place. You're winning, thousands of dollars. You're winning in 10th place like $1,250 or whatever. But you'll be sitting there, and like someone like George Pickens will catch a 30-yard pass, and you go from 9th place to 400th. You're like, holy shit! And that's just the nature of having the same the massive amount of people. We're talking about entrants. There are going to be, it looks like, in weekly winners there will be, how many entrants will there be? Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. 186,840. So 186,000 people will be in weekly winners at one moment. So you can imagine, like anybody, Buka catching a touchdown could take you from 4th place to 20th. But the fun part about when you advance, the fun part is when you advance through like the final round of, let's say, a big board or Best Ball Mania. Once there's only about 200, 300, 150, whatever the tournament is, teams left, and Pickens catches a touchdown, you sometimes don't even move. You're sitting at 13th place, 12th place, 18th place, whatever, and Pickens catches a touchdown, a long one, and you're like, and then you don't move. You're like, oh, it's a nice feeling because you're so used to, that being crazy, different. But the thing about weekly winners that is nice is there's a standing and scoreboard every week. Whereas in Best Ball Mania, you're not looking at an overall standing because you're just trying to get out of your first drafted bracket of teams that are, 12 teams in a league. And then week 14, so weekly winners is nice because you can look at a scoreboard that's constantly updating.
So the Jalen Hurts, I think you said it was an auto pick. With this being a weekly winner and your emphasis on the importance in terms of, the quarterbacks that are going round 2 in large part being because of weekly winners, and that Hurts pick wasn't bad. Then. Hurts
wasn't on an auto pick. I took that pick.
At value.
No, Hurts wasn't an auto pick. It was Christian
you did?
McCaffrey.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I picked Hurts because he's, he's fantastic in the 3rd round in a weekly winner. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
All right, hang tight, DJ. Let me get around the phone line here.
Sure.
Justin, what else you got?
I don't have anything at the moment. Are we kind of like dipping off, or what are we doing?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'll do another draft or not. This one's looking pretty good though. Hurts. This is weekly winners, so I just need to win any 1 week. You get 20K. You're not worried about accumulating points or bye week. Like you could literally just draft Hurts, and you're running a little bit of a risk that if Hurts went down, maybe your team would be good enough that it could dominate and be an amazing team even without Hurts, but you just took the risk and Hurts got hurt And so now here you are, without a quarterback, and you screwed up. But you also can, stack positions even more to get that extra advantage at that position. So you technically can roll without backups if you wanted. It's all about how you feel your lineup is going to ball out. Hurts, McCaffrey, Breece Hall, RJ Harvey, Bashal Tutin, Neighbors, Debo, Kupp, and Pickens, Tyler Warren, Mark Andrews, and Likely. And I don't think there's anyone in this draft to snipe me, so I'm going to talk out loud here. Kyle Williams, I queued him. I like him. Garendo is a must for me coming up here. Benson, I like a lot. Wide receivers, I'm not too thrilled about these guys, except for Kyle Williams, I like a lot. I'm just kind of looking through here. Dylan Sampson, I don't know that I'll take him, but I'm going to queue him. Cedric Tillman's interesting. Where are some of my sleeper? It's usually a couple sleeper players in here that Jalen Royals is nice. Yoshi Voss is interesting. And Bigsby's gone, right? Tootin was drafted, I think. I mean, I took Tootin. Bigsby. I drafted Tootin. Is Bigsby gone? Bigsby's gone. Okay, Dylan Sampson's still there. Kyle Williams is still there. McMillan's there. That's pretty nice. Our wide receivers so far are pretty good. I mean, Pickens is my fourth. I mean, really, Pickens might be my third. Kupp might be my fourth. Kyle Williams is still there. McMillan. I'm taking one of those bad boys, I think. And then, did I say, did Garendo get taken? Or did I take him? Yeah, Garendo got snagged. That's all right. That sucks. I should have grabbed him a little earlier. That's on me. Guess I'll go Dylan Sampson. Dylan Sampson's got to save the day. Damn, that sucks. Maybe we do have a sniper in here. Garendo. I don't recognize him. And he's got Purdy, so he probably just did not have him. I haven't gotten quarterback yet to back up my boy. Dak is already gone. I think I'll take Penix Jr. here. And I can leave it at that, I think, quarterback. Unless, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'll grab another. Running back's pretty good. Tight end's fine. I think I just close it out with a hammer, some wide receivers. I think Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, Harvey, Bashal Tutin, Dylan Sampson's good. If I just would have got Garendo, damn it. That would have really sealed it off for me. I would have been pretty happy with that. Wide receiver, I just got to smash wide receiver here. Travis, what else you got? Or actually, real quickly, let me answer the super chat. Marcus, appreciate you. Marcus says, do another puppy. Want to get in one with you. 22nd. I might, Marcus, I appreciate the super chat. I might. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, not a big fan of CMC this year. I don't mind him on weeklies. He's fine because you can get hurt and you get, whatever you get out of him. Like, this is the draft that you want to draft, like Henry and McCaffrey on the same team. Draft Henry and McCaffrey at round 1, 2. Try it out in a weekly winner. That's a great approach, but I want nothing to do with them in non-best ball, and especially really not much to do with them in best ball that's not weekly winners.
I think he's good in the phone booth drafts we do because he usually falls to like 25 or something, and it starts to be a little interesting. Yeah, definitely. You're doing 1v1. Why not? You got so many RBs. 1v1's interesting. You trying to egg me on for a 1v1, Justin? Is that what you're trying to do? I'm down. I'm always down. You could call me up at like 3 a.m. But you had Justin, I want a 1v1. I'd be like, I don't want to talk to you at 3 a.m. about it because you were not retaining the information last time. You kept trying to say it like the same way. No, that was a wild night. You won't believe this. I actually had like a 5 a.m. flight prior to that, man. So I was just like, dude, fuck it. I'm going to draft. I'm going to turn up, man. I'm going to catch this flight.
Well, let me know now, because I'm jumping into either a puppy or that.
I'll do a puppy with you. I'd like to just do a puppy. I'll just jump in the puppy. Right. Are you jumping in the puppy now?
I think we will. Well, after I make this, actually, I can do it. I can do it on my phone here. I can finish this one out on my phone. I'll be fine. I hope I don't time out, but I don't think it'll matter too much because my team looks pretty well assembled. Let me do it after this pick, so at least if I time out the last couple. So I got Christian McCaffrey. I got my running backs. I just need wide receivers. So wide receivers, I can queue a bunch that I like even if I time out. I think Amari Cooper finds a home.
Did you already max out the Schnauzer? Because I maxed out the Schnauzer.
I think so. Jalen Roy is good. He's good, and I'll leave it like that. Okay, I'm good. We'll pop out of here. All right, everybody, go over to the puppy. Let me close this. I gotta close it and reopen it. Go into the puppy. $5, 22nd. Nine more to start.
I think I jumped in the one right before yours. Did you do 20 seconds?
Mm-hmm. Didn't make it.
Fuck it. Now I'm in two of them. Fuck it. I think I might have got.
All right, watch that. Watch F bombs, bro. You got.
Oh, my bad.
You got the advertising, my guy. Come on. Said 5 of them in like 1 minute. All right, hold on. Drafts. 40 seconds. It starts. Here we go. Is it Buka in line for a JSN?
I'm at 2.
I think I need a little more practice, gentlemen, in being able to get in these games.
They go fast. Smitty, is it Buka in for a JSN type role in a year or so? I think he will be by the end of the year. I think it's, the odds of Godwin and Mike Evans both being healthy, like for even 10 games together, are very low. And Godwin might not even start. He's not gonna be ready for week 1. So Buka goes in right away. I think by the end of the year, he's doing what Jalen McMillan was doing, and McMillan was balling. So Buka walking into 2026 next year, this time next year, I think he's the #1 drafted Bucs receiver in fantasy. I think he's getting taken ahead of everybody. And go CeeDee Lamb here. Lamb chops in the puppy. Doing it live. Rain, appreciate you. Thank you, Smitty. You're the GOAT. Smitty to the moon. Marcus, what pick are you? Pick 4, says Nick. All right, Justin Jefferson, then Bijan, then Gibbs, then BT. BT at 7 is probably the highest I've seen him go in a while. Neighbors, Ashton Genty at 9 is the latest I've seen him go in a while. Genty's getting snagged like crazy. Hartman's at 12. Rain, appreciate you. Silent Goldie's at 1. The 1 spot. There goes McCaffrey. Too early at 11. That is not a good pick. Green bean. Risking the biscuit. There's scared money don't make money, and then there's just scared money's flushing money down the toilet.
Is Is he one of our guys, or is
Ladd
that like some guy?
I think he's one of ours. Ladd and Christian McCaffrey. Bro. I'm not saying I don't like Ladd. Yeah, it's not weeklies. Ladd at 14, bro. That is just wild. That's crazy. Yeah, green beans in here. Literally my first share of CMC all draft season. Yeah, but you paired it to like early Ladd McConkey, my guy. Jeez. All right, here we go.
Yeah, that is not it.
Woo. Let's go McBride. I'm going against the grain on this one. I'm going to let all you snipe, and I'm just going to scoop. I like McBride. I really like McBride. I said earlier in the offseason, or not too early, like month and a half ago, that McBride in 3 was a much better pick than Bowers at like 12. So, but now that Bowers is, McBride's climbing into round 2 with Bowers, it's becoming a tougher argument, But I think when you don't have a pick for Bowers, you might end up getting the best, you very well could be getting the best player. Let's see here. This is not a typical Smitty draft. I'll just tell you that right now. Marvin Harrison Jr. Lamb, McBride, MHJ, 0 RB. But I love the picks. The picks are phenomenal. It's just a matter of like how does it fall. But might also trigger more wide receivers and such. But I'm not afraid to go wide receiver again next. I'm not scared. Nico over Ladd? Yeah, I definitely would.
In that round and grabbing McBride and what's on the board, 1 or 2, however you want to look at them, certainly 2. Looks like that was just like a no-brainer. Because I didn't like what I saw coming after.
I almost went Kyron because I knew that in this group Kyron wouldn't have fallen to me, and if I wanted to go Kyron, but I wanted to take the value in this draft. I want to take the value that's there. I'm going to try and build a team with the value that's there. I'm not going to try and do any crazy reaching. Well, so far, I always say you could get one reach. Breece Hall would have been the reach if I wanted to secure an RB, but I just decided I'm going to let it ride. I'm just going to let it ride. I like these 3 picks. I think Marv could have a top 5 to 10 receiver season, so we'll just see what happens. Ted McMillan. Green Bean, what are you doing, bro? Jeez. You're gonna get the draft thrown out. What are you doing, Ted McMillan? Ladd and Ted. It looks like you're missing a 2nd round pick.
Looks like he's missing the first 2 rounds, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, just move everything down 1. McCaffrey, put him in 2. Ladd put him in, Ladd does go 2, but I think he deserves to go 3. Ted McMillan deserves to go in 4. Hampton would be a steal at 5, though. You'd be doing good. JD5 is the 4th round pick is good. Speedy, I like your team, and you've been disciplined. Thank God. Travis Hunter in round 4, mid round 4. I mean, he's been going like sometimes top 4, so that's fine. But is that you, Justin? 4 straight wide receivers, huh?
Yeah, but look who I got stacked, though.
Yeah, BT and Hunter. It's a good group, but we'll see what your RBs look like. It's a good group. All right, let's kind of take a gander. I'm not scared to go. I'm not scared to go quarterback here. here to go quarterback here. Look at that. Joe Burrow, Marv, McBride, CD. Doing it live. Not that much different than you, Justin. I spread it out a little bit. I got a quarterback, I got a tight end, but I haven't gone running back yet. Now here's the part where it's like, okay, you got Hubbard, you got Mixon, and Harvey. Harvey's the next one. Let's go RJ Harvey. So my first RB, this is true zero RB fashion here. Burrow, Harvey, Lamb, Hendy, McBride. I haven't gone zero RB in a while. That is true zero RB. Right there, the far left team. Lamb, in order. Lamb, McBride, Harrison, Joe Burrow, Harvey. Trey Henderson. Okay, you're where are you at? Tebow's in here too, right? Tebow. What did you take, bro? Mixon? I don't know about that one.
Yeah, Mixon's me.
I don't blame you.
I just think it's like zero RB. Who do you get in the draft as competition? Woody Marks. Like, I'm not afraid. Like, I'm not afraid of Woody Marks. I'm sorry. Like, maybe he gets hurt, but something I want to say is, like, last year we thought the Arizona running James Conner was going to get hurt. Did he get hurt? Like, you know, like, sometimes these guys that we put in these boxes are like, no matter what, they're going to get hurt. Sometimes they don't get hurt. And, like, in a tournament fashion, you know, you got to take these shots on some of these guys, especially when you kind of dig yourself in the hole of, like, went 4 straight wide receivers, you know?
Maybe. Was Kamara a better stab, though?
I worry more about how he fell off last year. Maybe that's just because he couldn't hold up, so maybe it'll be good to start the year and fall off again.
Too, but at least they run the ball well in New Orleans. That's the only thing they do well. But I maybe would have went Kamara, but Mixon had a great. I mean, look, he was fantastic last year until he fell off, but he did fall off hardcore.
Yeah, he was off.
And like you also could have got Kenneth Walker.
How many running backs? I think a lot of running backs have like a month at some point in the season in which like they're not as impressive. But his month was right at the end, so it kind of looks worse. Now,
Gibbs has something to say about that.
Maybe he never looks good again. Like, you know what I'm saying? To be fair, maybe he just never looks good again.
Gibbs,
you know, but I don't.
Gibbs would disagree with you. I wonder. Let me look at Gibbs's. Getting close to my pick here. Hold on. I think Gibbs would disagree with you, bro. I mean, his worst game appeared.
Well, I made the. Go ahead.
That's right.
You're on the clock.
Man, I'm not a huge Judkins guy, but let's just grab him here. Get some carries. We got Harvey, Judkins, Burrow, CD, Marv, and McBride. I don't mind that.
I know you don't draft them often, but what are your feelings on Tua? Is it purely just injury you're worried about, or do you think they just all take a step back? Because he was actually really good.
Who,
from the
Tua?
time he came back till the end of last season, like a lot better than I realized he was. It was like a 4,500 yard passing pace.
Yeah, I mean, look, Tua can ball. I think in weeklies he's great. He's great in weeklies. I think when you draft, like, let's say you're going to take Tyreek Hill Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey in a weeklies, and then you grab Tua as your quarterback. Like, you could do some damage. Or Achane, Tua, and Tyreek Hill, like in a weekly somehow. All right, so here's my team real quickly. I do like them, though, to answer your question. Especially in weeklies, not as much definitely in best ball.
I wasn't sure you were going to grab Caleb. I was like,
yeah, no, I as much as I don't love Caleb and Judkins as much as some people, because I think they're two of the running backs that I feel like are going to be getting, some pressure by way of just, committee, and Jaylen Warren's not going anywhere. Dylan Sampson's going to be a problem. But RJ Harvey, Quinshon Judkins, and Caleb's pretty damn good for 0 RB. I mean, I went Joe Burrow before. I went CD, Marvin Harrison Jr., McBride. I mean, that's a solid looking squad. All right, what is Green Bean doing? Let's take a look at what he's been doing here.
I just think that
Godwin.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you like your Hampton pick, bro, but what the hell's going on with the rest of this? I don't know what you're doing back there, bro. Go ahead, DJ. I'm sorry.
Question or thought about Green Bay. And I thought they were going to draft a running back. I thought they may draft a running back in round 2, maybe 3. But then, and I'm not high on Golden. But Savion, for some reason, I just think that he's probably, I don't know if it's a bold prediction, but I think he'll outscore all of the receivers there.
He could. I like him.
The reason why I say that is, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. They didn't draft a running back. If they did, it was very late. And he's not necessarily, from what I've been watching and seeing and reading, he's a Swiss knife. So I think that in lieu of a running back, they grabbed him. I think he's going to be touching the ball in a number of different ways, including lining up in the backfield. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the next Deebo Samuel if they use him right. I'm just a little worried about them using him right. Guys, do I go Jaylen Warren here, or do I? I think I will. So now I got Jaylen Warren and Caleb. I got Judkins and Harvey. I don't mind that. I'm kind of smashing the running back right now. I need to get back to wide receiver drafting at some point, but I think that's pretty good.
I think people have swung too far the other way on Jaylen Warren at this point. People were really high on him in the past, and I get, he's been injured, so that's why he's kind of fallen by the wayside. And now that Caleb is there, I think people just assume he's going to own the backfield, but I think there's plenty of work for Jaylen Warren to still get.
Well, as much as I don't understand Arthur Smith, we do know that he'll run the ball, and at minimum, assuming Warren's healthy, he'll be productive. But I don't see any reason why Caleb, just on sheer volume and system, wouldn't.
I mean, I think
produce.
the reason why people are afraid of is they just feel like they just don't know who the quarterback is. I think Warren would go higher if they just signed Aaron Rodgers and just got it over with. But it's just kind of up in the air,
So on this running backs stretch I went on. So again, at the top I went CeeDee Lamb, Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr., Joe Burrow, 0 RB, and then I just went straight berserk. RJ Harvey, Judkins, Caleb, Jaylen Warren, Zach Charbonnet, back to back. But I love it. I mean, honestly, that's a really intriguing running back stable. Number one, I think Harvey blows up. Number two, I think at least, Caleb and Warren's a cuff that I could feel secure about. Charbonnet's that huge monster, potential top 5 to 10 running back if he gets in there, and he will at some point. It's just unfortunate that Walker can't stay healthy, but this is a pretty good core of RB that I've got cooking here. I like this a lot. And I'm still down. Still only have 2 wide receivers, but
yeah. In my opinion, in terms of just how you started your build, the upside for your running back room, considering the floor and what you would be getting in that receiver area in those rounds, I think is awesome.
Yeah. Hit that
you get upside. Major.
Hit that like button on your way in the door. All right, let's see here. Bashal Tootin, Jordan Mason, Travis Kelce, Fields, Kyle Williams, Najee. Then it went Marvin, Mims. And Justin, what are you doing here? Such a Justin pick, Ayuk. I just like, can I do? Let me do impersonation of Justin. I just think like
20 picks.
Why not?
ADP, though,
I mean,
like 20 picks. After
he can literally
ADP,
get a transplant.
Can he get healthy and have like a hot month at the end during the championship? Like,
I just think.
What are we talking about?
I don't hate this pick. I don't necessarily love him being my 3rd wide receiver, but I don't hate it either given my build. I took Jack Besh. I think he gets work. He gets good work. It's not the craziest move, especially with what I got going here. Definitely one of the most lopsided drafts I've had ever in one direction, then back to another. I mean, look at this. I went far left team. I went Lamb, McBride, Marvin Harrison, Joe Burrow. Then I went freaking 5 straight RBs. Then I take Jack Besh as my wide receiver 3, which again is kind of crafty. Kind of don't mind it. Kind of feels a little bit crazy.
So where do you start to look at Brandon Ayuk and feel like, okay, this is draftable? Like if he was at 140, would you be like, okay, maybe a click? You know what I'm saying? Where?
Not in best ball, bro. I don't want those zeros for as many games as you get in your 0. I just don't want it. And he comes back. He's the 3rd wide receiver. He's not coming. What's he going to do? Move over? Hey, Jennings, take a seat? No, I don't think so. Hey, Ricky Pearsall, you've been looking pretty, Ricky, in the lineup, but it's my job.
But when we spoke about Ricky Pearsall, you said part of the concern with Ricky Pearsall is when Brandon Ayuk.
Those things. So,
which one are we doing? Are we concerned
coexist?
Are we concerned about Ricky Pearsall because of Brandon Ayuk?
Those can coexist.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but those can coexist. Those concerns can coexist, bro. One doesn't have to be absolutely.
But he's outside of the top 100, though.
I know, but you got to think about taking all those zeros for as long as it takes, bro. I just don't. I'm not saying there isn't a place where I don't take Ayuk. When I start getting to a point where I don't know if those wide receivers will ever unseat my other wide receivers anyway, or maybe I'm taking a guy like, Io Minor, who you don't really know when he'll do anything, then Ayuk feels right where he belongs, right there. But when you start taking Ayuk, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. Where did you take him? Let's just take a little look-see. There might not be a lot of players I love anyway around him. I mean, where are we at? Where's Justin?
After the top 100, if you're getting a wide receiver, how many guys are not incredibly speculative?
I mean, I don't know, bro. Just saying, give me Bashal Tootin, give me Travis Kelce, give me Kyle Williams over him.
Yes, but at some point you need to draft wide receivers again, though. You can't just have 4 wide receivers.
Just said Kyle Williams. Give me Kyle Williams. Give me Jack Besh over. Give me Jack Besh over Ayuk.
Yeah, brutal knee injury. It's a tough injury to come back from year 1.
I'm not. Look, it is what it is. I'm not mad at you, pal. I'm just.
So help me understand.
I hear you, but something we got to think about with Kyle Williams is you
I'm not thinking
are
about
still
any.
and I draft a ton of Kyle Williams, but you are still adopting the fact he is a rookie. Like, you don't. There's no exact science to know like when a rookie's gonna pop and like how that's gonna manifest.
But you're making it sound too complicated. You're making it sound like we got to look at historical data. What's the odds? I'm looking at everything individually, one player at a time. His specific situation, his specific talent. Give me Kyle Williams all day long. He's producing right away. So I get what you're saying.
I'm just saying, after the top 100, you get speculative.
Well, I just named like 3 guys I would like over
when it comes to wide receiver.
I know, but I just named 3 guys I'd like over him. You know?
Okay, I'm just saying at some point you have to draft wide receivers, and at some point we have to acknowledge that like after the top 100, there are no slam dunk, like there's no questions to be asked at wide receiver.
I don't know how many times I'm gonna say it. I'd rather draft Kyle Williams. I'd rather draft Jack Besh. I'd rather draft.
I've made the Kyle Williams pick over him.
I'm just telling you, like, I don't.
A million times. I have a lot of Kyle Williams.
You're not going to convince me, bro.
I'm a Patriots fan. Like, I have a lot of.
I feel like I'm talking to Gump right now. Come on, Justin.
Yeah, but
look,
like
you can hold your opinion. It's fine. Hold your opinion.
Because I'm a Patriots fan.
Hold your opinion, nice and snug. It's fine. It doesn't matter. I'm not mad at you for it, but I 100% disagree. 1000%.
Okay, it's fine.
Hey, I'm going a little early here. I don't want to risk you with you sniping mofos out there.
Let me ask a question.
Hold on one second. So I took Dak. I got Dak. I got my Substack, which I've kind of coined as I'm really light wide receiver shopping. I get it. That's the risk I'm willing to pay. Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb Substack, little nice little action. Joe Burrow's my starter. Harvey. I got Judkins and Sampson. I got Caleb and Jalen Warren. I've got Zach Charbonnet. I've got Lamb, Harrison, Jack Besh. I got McBride and Kyle Pitts. So I'm definitely thin at wide receiver. I get what I'm playing. I'm playing with a little bit of fire. But the thing is, again, you look at the final product. I'm looking at this saying Quentin Johnston, don't love him. Joshua Palmer, don't love him. Leggett, I don't even like Leggett that much. I liked him a lot as a prospect, but I'm not like excited about the situation. Tillman, Dobbs, Thielen, Tolbert, Wandell. These are the players I'm looking at. I'm just going to keep sniping players that I like. I'm not going to go wide receiver shopping because I'm supposed to. I don't like any of those players. That's why I'm taking a big break from wide receiver because I'm just not drafting any of those guys. I'm not going to force a position. I'm scooping up talent. I think I've racked up a lot. I think my QB room is safe as can be. My running back room is like triple cuffed. You know, I got the Sampson, Judkins, the Caleb, the Warren, and then just to have like the Sharps, Hart, I just think it's great. I'm double cuff, but I mean, I feel real secure there. McBride and Pitts, fantastic. All right, go ahead, DJ. I'm sorry.
Well, that was actually my question, because Patrick, right? I don't want to misname it. In his point, in terms of talking about, well, at some point you have to get a receiver. But I don't know when that would be, in terms of why that would be. I'm a value type, I guess, draft person. I wouldn't draft a receiver just because I need a receiver. And I don't know if that's different in redrafts or, yearly or keeper leagues than best ball. But if best ball, this is my thought, with best ball, that variance in terms of the value that you're getting at running back versus those receivers could be your win. But I don't know. Does that make sense?
I mean, it does, but again, it all comes down to best player available.
You're drafting a receiver just to be drafting a receiver, and you have a better value on the board.
Well, that's my whole. Hold on one second. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
So
hold on. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Keenan Allen. I guess I'm gonna go Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen's gonna be back in a Charger uniform this year. I think that his rapport with Herbert's so good that this is going to be a good fit for him. He'll do some good things. So I'm going to go Keenan Allen there. And then I still got to go wide receiver shopping quite a bit. So hang tight on that. Quarterbacks, not interested.
Part of the reason why I get too high on Trey Harris. I really like Harris, but the targets are already limited there. And then there's Quentin Johnson, and I think Mike Williams is back there. And I agree with you. I think they might bring Keenan Allen back. So
real quickly,
have trouble getting
Cedric Tillman or Leggett, or I think that's where I'm headed here.
Tillman.
Oh, Leggett.
Still tough.
One Tillman, one Leggett.
I want to go Leggett just because I like his situation where we don't know what Tillman's going to have to get used to new QBs, and it's going to be, I don't know. I like Tillman a lot, but I'm going to go Leggett. Better offense, most likely. And probably a nice little uptick in production. Okay, go ahead. DJ, to answer your question, I mean, what you're saying is essentially my whole best player available mentality. It's like, you never draft a position, always draft a player. That answers everything. Like, that's always going to be my stance, 100% of the time. Doesn't mean that I don't look at all things being equal and weighed toward a position. Doesn't mean I can't still draft hero RB, zero wide receiver, zero running back, early quarterback. But those are all sub-strategies under the context and confines of best player available. So what you're describing is what I describe about everything that I do on this channel. Everything I tell people to do in terms of drafting is best player available. So you're never, in my opinion, you never should be drafting a player that is lesser than another player because of a position. Unless, of course, the best player available, like, value system that you really are going off of your own. It's not like you're taking the highest ranked ADP guy. That's called computer drafting, auto drafting. I'm saying that if you've already got a quarterback in a 1 QB non-best ball, quarterback no longer is best player available to you. That is ruled out. In a best ball, you can go bully QB, so it's still on the board. That's why I'll go Mahomes as my second quarterback a lot in best ball before I've ever filled out my tight end or my wide receiver 3. And I'm sitting here drafting Mahomes because he is the best player available to me in my mindset. But always draft the best player available. It's going to change and fluctuate as the draft goes along, as you fill up your lineup, as other people take running backs off the board and running backs are going crazy. Now all of a sudden, best player available is starting to shift a little bit. You got to be, it's an ever-changing value system that you're essentially having to make the call on while you're on the clock. But never, ever take a player based on position, ever.
Well, and if I'm understanding, I guess it's in terms of values, depending upon how your build is going in a particular draft. Like you grabbed McBride in round 2, which was awesome because he's going to produce, and that tight end position is going to be locked. But best value when you were building and your cuffing could have been best value because of the running backs that you had in terms of your team build.
It's always going to change.
Because I love the build. Yep, right.
Always going to change.
Can I say something about Mecca?
Yeah, last thing, and then I'm going to cycle everybody off. Go ahead. Final
Mecca,
thoughts, DJ. Go ahead.
Sure, no problem. Something that I've been thinking about, and it's since forgotten, is just the Ohio State receivers floor is pretty darn high. I mean, the track record is pretty impressive. Can't think of who we're talking about in terms of McLaurin. So to your point, in terms of next year being number 1 on the team, I don't have any reason to think why he wouldn't be. But even overshadowing that, geez, they just produce. And what's the wide receivers coach name there? Hairline? Is that right? Hairline. So, I mean, there's no reason why he won't produce. Yep. Yes. Okay. Thanks. So if I'm looking at a tiebreaker, I'm going with, Ibuka. Just on that.
Yeah, Ibuka is going to be.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Appreciate you, DJ. Later, bro. Justin, you were trying to say something earlier. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, I just want to remind us all, I did not take him at ADP. I took him at 103. They spent $75 million on the guy.
I don't care. Like,
you
what
gotta
does that have to
think
do with
about- you gotta
anything?
think of- no,
I
but-
don't
no, but
give
hear me
a
out,
I
hear
don't
me out,
give
hear
a
me out,
crap
hear me
what
out.
they spent on him.
After pick 100, how many teams are that incentivized to try to get the guy targets? Like, after pick 100, like, how many teams gave their guy $75 million? Like, how many teams? Like, there are going to be risks with every wide receiver after pick 100. And, like,
draft him. I'm not mad at you.
Taking a guy just to take it. Okay.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. I don't like the pick. You're not going to convince me. I know you think you're going to remind. Let's all remember.
I just feel like we don't consider literally anything.
Why is everything a lesson with him? We don't consider. We must look. I'm considering it all, Justin. Believe it or not, this is what I do all day long. I'm considering everything. It doesn't mean I'm right. It just means my consideration has been in full effect. I definitely am considering everything. It's just the way I look at it. I'm not seeing the value. Not to mention, like I said, you don't know how long he's going to be out. You're stacking zeros. And then when he comes back, how many games? How many games you stacking of him getting used to things? And then all of a sudden, he finally as the third receiver becomes something valuable in a rotation in that Niners offense. And he starts for you 1 or 2 games on the year, like maybe more. I'm not saying he can't, but Ayuk is not going to be 100% when he gets back physically, and he wasn't even 100% when he went down. He was a head case. His head was so deep inside his head. He couldn't even play. He played like trash. So all those things combined make me say, I don't know what's so difficult about this. And I love you, pal. I'm not mad at you, but I'm being hard on the take because you're not letting it go. So I'll go ahead and go at you with it. But I literally told you what I would do. I'm not saying it was the worst pick in the world, I guess, but I wouldn't have done it. I would have taken Kyle Williams. I would have taken a plethora of players above him. But that's okay. It's not a big deal. Like, look, let me make this draft selection, and I'll go and look and tell you who I'd take. I'll do it again. I got 3. Man, I think my receivers are a little light. I probably got to go wide receiver here. Damn it. I'm going to time out. Let's go Savion. Savion. I was going to time out. Just take a stab that they use him like a Debo. I love Savion Williams. I really hope. They're just like DJ said, I really hope that he becomes a viable option for them. Like, this is where I'd take Ayuk. If he's sitting there, I'd snag him in a second. Because you don't know if Savion's going to get anywhere.
$50 holler.
But here's $50 holler. Hold on one second, Justin, and I'll get to the talk about this. Hey, Shane coming in with a $50 holler. Shane to the moon. Let's do a 50.
Give me $50 holler. Give me $50.
Shane coming in with a $50 holler. Why is my iPad always Shane to the moon? Self-connect. It self-connects. I hate it. And you can tell how much the YouTube delay is. What do you think of Gibbs, Bucky, DJ, or JD5, Marv? Okay, first of all, you went zero wide receiver through 3 rounds and still got Marv and still got JMO. And yeah, it's really, really solid. I like that a lot. Gibbs, Bucky, JD5, Marv, love Harvey. JMO's fine there. JMO's been going like in round 4. That's ridiculous. So round 6 is fine. That's where he should be going this whole entire time. Travis Hunter in 7. It's filthy. So this was not a best ball draft. I can tell you that right now because Hunter's going in around 3-4 right now. Harvey's going in about 6 if you're lucky. You got him at 5. He's going in 5-6. So 5-6, and then let's see here. What was the other pick? JMO not going in round 4 in this draft makes me know for a fact that you're not doing a best ball draft here on Underdog. Jalen Warren, Jacoby Myers, Jake Ferguson, Blue, Trey Harris, Eagles. Yeah, I like the team a lot, bro. Milrow, like it. And is this a dynasty? I assume it is a dynasty startup. Maybe not. Let's see. What would indicate that it's not? Kelsey, yeah, maybe a little early. Yeah, If it was Dynasty, Travis Hunter would go way earlier. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, bro, your team is fire. This is an amazing draft. Milrow is one of those guys you like almost with this size roster, you could almost have let him sit out there for a little while until there's buzz and momentum, and then scooped up someone else. But now that you've grabbed him, you've alerted everybody. And if you drop him, everyone's going to be looking at it, and who knows what the hell happens. So you almost just keep him, I suppose. But I like this team a lot. Really, really good job. Super good job. Your weakest link is probably, assuming it's redraft, Ferguson, or potentially, you could always drop Dicker the kicker if you wanted. If you had to pick up somebody that was out there that should not be out there, just a filthy transaction. It is what it is. Keep the Eagles, though. Roshan's interesting. You could cut him, too, if there was a really nice pickup. But Roshan's also got a little bit of that David Montgomery feel this year. Like, he could be a lot better than people expect. Thank you for the $50 hauler. Yeah. What, Travis?
I was just saying, Roshan can catch it out of the backfield a little bit, too.
Yeah, and we liked him a lot. He just kind of didn't develop. All right, so, Justin, just to continue on this debate, let's go back over here. Ayuk, 103. So just scrolling a little bit before, just to give you an idea, like Ibuka, 100. He wasn't there for you. Charbonnet wasn't there for you. But Bo Nix, those are all players I 100% take over Ayuk. Okay, so then we get to Ayuk. If I needed a tight end, you didn't because you had Laporta, I would draft Ingram over him. Jaden Higgins, I believe, is a better pick than Ayuk. Okay, just because he's going to get volume for sure right away. And he might get better volume than Brandon Ayuk, even when Brandon Ayuk is fully back, because he's getting number 2 target share, and Ayuk might get 3. Mason's interesting if you need a RB. Tootin, I'd take over him. Travis Kelce, if you need a tight end, I'd take over him, but you got Laporta, so I'm fine. But I might even boldly tight end Kelce versus drafting Ayuk. Drop down to the next... Oh, wait, am I going the wrong way? No. Okay. Travis Kelce, okay. Kyle Williams, I like over him. I'd even consider Najee maybe over him. I still think Najee will be used, so it's not bad. You start getting down toward this area. Jack Besh, I like over him. Tyler Warren, I like over him. Go down to the next round. If you need a backup quarterback, Dak Prescott, I like over him. Jalen McMillan, we're starting to get somewhere now. This is where I start sniffing players that may or may not get opportunity enough that mirrors Ayuk taking 4 weeks to play or getting eased into things or whatever. So you start getting into like I probably still look at Jalen McMillan. Christian Kirk, that is definitely a player I'm not taking over Ayuk. Garendo, I might. Isaiah Likely, depends. Kraft, I think he's just more of a sleeper that I'd take later anyway. Look at this Benson. I'd take Trey Benson over Ayuk 10 times out of 10. Tank Bigsby, I'd take over him. I'm down in round 12 right now. Now, it's getting harder to find players, though, but they're still there. Dylan Sampson in the 13th round, honestly, it'd be tempting. Ray Davis I like a lot, but I think I'd let him fall further. So, yeah, you get into, like, round 13, bro. I've got no problem with it at all. And I have no problem with you executing upon the pick that was Brandon Ayuk at the 9th round value at 103. I have no problem with that. Like, if you like it, if you believe it's going to be good, but I don't. You're trying to convince me in my gut instinct to go against it and say, okay, you're right. You haven't convinced me because I think he's going to stack some zeros for you. And then I don't believe he's even the third receiver in an offense that I think is
so good. My thing with that conversation is like, if we love a rookie as a community, and in the first month they have some zeros, what do we say? We say they're rookies. That happens. Like, it's not always instant. But we're not having that conversation when it comes to the rookies, but we're having it when it comes to Ayuk.
Because Ayuk is like played like trash, and he's in his own headspace, bro. And he's coming back from a devastating.
Do you think he's never going to be good again?
I don't know that.
Do you think he's never going to be good again?
I don't know. I don't think he for sure will.
Do you think they're never going to try to get him going again? Like, do you think that like they're just going to like cut him?
Well, I think
they gave him $75 million.
Bro, they would have cut him if he was healthy. I have it on good authority that if he was healthy, he would have been cut. He would have been cut with all the other players.
After they gave him
And that's going to be.
guaranteed.
Did not give him $75 million. They would save a lot of money by cutting him future money that they don't want to pay him. It came down to the future money. They're not giving him. There is a rhyme and reason to cutting bait on a player when you say, okay, yeah, we're going to lose a lot of dead cap now, but the Niners are taking the dead cap, to a serious level this year. Their dead cap, they're thinking about the future. They're starting to rebuild. I'm not saying that if he was healthy and he was playing well, that they'd have the same mindset. Like, let's say he never got hurt, or let's say his injury was already recovered from, and he was showing promise on the field, then maybe they wouldn't have cut him. But the state of things right now, if he was not injured, they would have cut him. Like, they don't know where he fits in anymore. And Shanahan reportedly didn't even want to sign him when they signed him to $30 million. They were just trying to get it over and done with and move on. They didn't even they weren't even excited about it. The divide between Ayuk and the team is already, toxic to a degree. Ayuk really took things to a crazy level. The amount of pissed off that Shanahan and John were at Ayuk when he backed out of the Cleveland Browns deal pissed him off to a place we can't even fathom. Because they set up that deal, they did everything that he wanted, and then he backed out like a little kid scared to go to camp. And he's like, Mom, I don't want to go anymore. Drive me home. And he didn't want to leave. He backed out. They were so pissed at him and just kept keeping them hostage. The guy wouldn't let go. He wouldn't move on. And he created so many problems.
Pay him too.
Yeah, Patriots wanted him. Like, this guy was a mess, bro. And he's a wreck in his head. He on the field, he played like trash. I told you he was going to get hurt. I don't care if anybody says, oh, you couldn't have predicted that. I knew he's going to get hurt because every player that holds out gets hurt. They're lagging. They're not where they need to be. There's a lot of reasons he could have been in the wrong spot at the wrong time, that if he was a healthy mental guy right now, at that time, he'd be sitting here right now healthy. I don't want Ayuk on my roster unless I'm past all those players that I need. Let me merge this call real quickly. Hold on.
Hello?
I know you, Justin, you want to convince me, but you're not going to. I don't want Ayuk. I won't take him in round 9.
It's not about drafting him. It's just like, I just feel like we got a little hypocritical when it's like he's going to stack zeros.
I didn't get hypocritical.
The rookies will too. The rookies will too.
I didn't get hypocritical. I didn't. Explain to me how that's hypocritical. He's going to stack zeros, and when he comes back, he's not even ready. How is that hypocritical? You're taking one part of what I said, and you're trying to say, oh, if you say this, and then stop the sentence, cut it up, you can't say this. Why can't I say that? A rookie can stack zeros if I think they're going to be a baller, bro. What are you talking about? Now you're just running circles around it. Like, just because someone stacks zeros doesn't mean they can't be amazing once they're unleashed. Look at Jahmyr Gibbs. Did Jahmyr Gibbs stack zeros?
That's part of my thing.
Did Jahmyr Gibbs stack zeros? What's part of your thing? I don't agree with you that he's going to be great.
They won't try to capitalize on the fact they gave him $75 million.
Look at these zeros right here. I can't believe in a rookie that is healthy and ready to ball out. It's completely different. Ayuk is not somebody I want on my team. I just don't, bro. I mean, coming back from injury.
Hey, this is Shane, the guy that put in the super chat.
Attaboy.
I just wanted to say thank you for helping me win my first championship last year. Trying to go for another one.
Attaboy.
That was ESPN redraft, so that was like
I could tell.
I don't know. That wasn't. Legit, you know what I mean?
Wait, but that wasn't a mock draft, right? I hate when we.
No, that was a mock draft. Yeah,
big guy.
But it wasn't.
Wait! It was a mock draft. It was a mock draft.
Yeah.
Ah. We hate getting excited about someone's team with a mock draft. Come on, bro.
You got that team.
You're drafted against computer teams.
Oh. No. It was against other people. Like you can join with other people on there. So
it's debatable whether they have pulses or they know. Bro, sometimes there's just picture a guy named Ian that's in the mock draft going,
Ian.
I think I'm going to draft my rookie team right now inside the middle of this draft. Bro, you're drafting with I don't know. This is like let me just also tell it to you like this. There's a do you consider me a pretty good drafter? Like you would say, you don't have to say I'm the best. I'm not
yeah, dude.
Okay.
You know what you're doing.
Okay. Do you consider, let's say, Justin, even though he just took Ayuk, don't you consider Justin probably a pretty heavy, skilled drafter, most likely, right?
Heavily invested, yes.
Okay. And like people that are in here, are we doing mock drafts? None of us are. None of us.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So, but here's my.
Gum's taking Debo in the second round.
Gum's taking mock draft.
Hold on. Debo's not bad.
Okay, but here's my point. Here's my point, just so everybody's understanding. When people tell me, Smitty, there's a lot of people, mock drafts aren't dead. Those are people that can't play best ball, and I feel very bad for them. Like in their state, they can't play or whatever. Everyone that's good is gone, been raptured from the mock draft environment. Nobody. I haven't mock drafted in years, like I've been serious about it. I think I'm like mock draft in
you
years.
Told me whenever you started, you did like 500 a year.
Minimum.
Like now you do 0.
So when you go into a mock draft, keep in mind that no one good is really in there. Maybe there are a couple people like, I'm not saying you're not good, but you're going to be running into a lot of magazine drafters and grandmas in those. You're no longer finding a shark in there. So you're going to see a lot of bad picks.
I can tell you why. I can tell you why I do this. It's because I'm in Texas, right?
Yeah.
I can do Underdog, but I have $15,000 of gambling debt. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to ban myself from Underdog.
Smart man.
So I can't do it. I permanently banned myself from Underdog, and I can't. I tried to reverse it, and they're like, no.
Down here, if anybody does. There's phone number down at the bottom if anybody has an issue. All right. Hey, anything else I can do for you, Shane? Any other players you want to talk about?
Man, honestly, dude, I don't know. Like, I'm on the spot, but I just wanted to say what's up. And, honestly, Tank Dell, do you think his career is over? I'm a Texans fan, by the way.
Career over? Maybe no, but I think, is he fantasy relevant to any of us right now or even the next couple of years? Probably not. Like, I could see him trying to come back, and I could see him getting, some snaps, and I could see him coming back and getting hurt again. But I definitely think he's going to try to make it back in the league. But I think, would I cut him? Probably. Would I put him on a injured reserve spot that I didn't have anybody else to put in? Sure, as long as I could. But I don't think he's coming back. He's not going to play this year. He's completely, not going to play this year.
Yeah.
And then the next year, I mean, how much of his game will he have lost? You've seen guys like Josh Gordon sit out healthy, and they come back and they can't get their groove back. Like, it's going to be tough for him, bro. And his team that he's on is like loaded at wide receiver now. So like, what are they going to do? Take somebody out when they're already versed in the offense? And so, he'd have to go somewhere else. And if he did, he'd have to go to a team that needed him, and no one's going to bring him in to be a starter. So he'd have to climb, and it's just all those things are going against him. And not to mention, bro, his knee was so mangled that normally someone tears their ACL, they do the ACL surgery as soon as the swelling's down and everything. He tore his knee up to where it's like, it was so bad that they had to repair it and put it back together.
All three. It was like the ACL, MCL, and LCL, right?
They had to put his knee back together, let it heal, and then in, I think it was November, finally do his ACL surgery.
Oh, God.
So he couldn't even have his ACL surgery until his leg was put back together. And
he already broke that leg.
Yeah, it's and I don't want to hear he's too small.
Smitty, I got a question for you.
It could happen to anybody. I think there's a little bit to the fact that he's a tiny guy, but like the leg injury, he got caught up in something that would have rolled anyone's leg, and it's hard to say. But like, there's a couple guys that are lighter in the league that it doesn't concern me. Look at Devontae Smith; he's a toothpick. Go ahead. Last thing, and then I got to jump.
Okay. So if you could give me or anyone, like, I don't know, that's trying to improve their fantasy game, I guess, what would be your number one piece of advice that you would like share?
I mean, aside from the obvious best player available, like conversation, which I beat a dead horse on, I would say my advice would be, God,
And I watch your streams like almost every day.
Is it super flex? Is it non super flex? Like there's so many. Is it dynasty? Is it redraft? Like
it's non super flex PPR 12-man, and I started this league last year, and we're looking to make it very competitive. So everyone then they're like they don't mess around.
Is it running back heavy?
To be honest, I like the running backs this year. I feel like it's gonna be running back heavy.
In your draft, I mean,
I don't know, man. Like
I guess what I'd say is this: like in best ball, for example.
Oh no! I know what you mean. No. It's like 2 running backs and a flex.
Yeah, if it's gonna be running back
spots.
If it's gonna be running back heavy in the first round, like if a lot of people, then I would probably I don't know. I guess my main advice would be this. My main advice would be this: grab Harvey, grab the rookie running backs, as many as you can, and I think potentially that would be my number one piece of advice to win leagues this year. I mean, for hell's sake, we have Henderson, Harvey, and Genty all in the Nova list this year. I got 8 spots, and I've got all 3 of them in there. So I love.
Wait, you have Henderson in there. You have Genty, Henderson, and Harvey.
Yeah, and Hampton deserves to be in there too.
Yeah, that's solid.
Really. So like this is a year of the rookie running back. If you could build around grabbing like majority of those guys, you could really clean up at wide receiver. So that's one piece of advice I'd give somebody. I'd also say, don't be scared to invest in Mahomes and the Chiefs this year. Specifically Mahomes 6-7, bro. Mahomes falls to 6. It's ridiculous. Mahomes will win leagues for people. I think he's on a mission. This whole notion that he's no longer fantasy relevant is stupid. It's just stupid. He's taken a 2-year break because of injuries to his team, and he's got one of the best wide receiver rooms in the league. He's lifting weights. He's getting massively in shape. The dad bod's gone. He shaved the head. He's taken a whole serious angle. When you shave the head, you're being business. People might think I'm joking, but whenever you break up with your girl breaks up with you, breaks your heart, first thing you do is do some sort of facial hair, head shaving move. It's a defining moment in your life. He's taking it personally that he had the back-to-back-to-backs in his grasp, and now he's got to start over. And you heard me. He's trying to go for a triple right now, and this is going to be step 1. He's on a mission. Man.
And this,
I got to run. I got to run.
One last thing. Yeah, one last thing. I'm 8 days free from gambling, so right. I'm done with gambling.
Congrats.
I'm doing good now. Thank you,
bro. Later, bro.
Keep it up, man.
All right, brother.
Yeah, keep it up. Okay. Yeah, and again, if anybody needs that number down at the bottom, like make sure you don't ever spend what you don't have. If you feel like it's an issue, put it up again. There's a number down at the bottom. If you ever feel like that, it should always be fun. It should never be something you're like stressed about, and you might be doing something wrong if you're doing that. So you need to take care of yourself. All right, final thoughts. Who's Justin? Final thoughts. I love you, pal.
Yeah, I would say to add on to your like gambling thing, like don't chase the losses too. Like if you bet $100 on like Sunday Night Football, just let it be that, and don't try to But yeah, that's all I got. Appreciate it, buddy.
Appreciate
Brandon
you.
Ayuk thing's not personal. You just got different opinions. Fine. I love you, buddy.
Hey, nothing but great feelings here. Rock out. Final thoughts. Rock out.
How you going about the Jacksonville running back room and also Cleveland?
Stack Judkins to Sampson if you're going to go down that road, or just take Sampson. That would be my advice there. Tootin to Bigsby, maybe leave ETN for the dogs. But I do think it's important to grab Tootin and Bigsby if you can, and they're both going so late you can do it. I mean, could ETN surprise us? He could. He could. I mean, remember he's a top 5 running back, but I mean, usually when you fall off, and it felt like it was hard for him to get there too. It didn't feel easy. He had the injury, and then it's like he finally climbed up. He had coaching changes, and he did it. And they kept saying we need to back off usage, or we don't want to get him hurt, and they kept feeding him. I think, I think that I'm probably going to stay away from ETN right now. I like that I got him in a lot of early drafts. You know, I got him and Bigsby cuffed together, but Tootin is special, and so is Bigsby. One of those two is balling out, bro. And if you have both in best ball, it's fantastic. And then Judkins, I know everybody wants to love him, and again, you know, I have him here. This is the squad. I'm not going to review all the teams. It takes too long. I will another day. But
where'd you take him?
Judkins I took at 70, so that's pretty good. His ADP 68. You can see right. Here, let me share the screen. You can see 68. I took him at 70, so I took him after ADP. Harvey I took slightly before ADP, 51. His ADP is 57. I took Caleb right at ADP at 75. I took Jalen Warren a touch early at 94 versus 105 because I wanted to cuff him to Caleb. And then I took Charbonnet a little early, 99. I took Sampson really early to cuff. So I did a little reaching, but to piece together a really secure running back room, given that I went 0 RB. Burrow, I took just a touch before ADP. Dak, I took before ADP. All these players I took before ADP. CeeDee Lamb, I took 1 pick before ADP. Marvin Harrison Jr., I took at ADP. Jack Besh, I took slightly before ADP. Keenan Allen, I took slightly before ADP. Lee Gett, I took way after ADP. Jalen Royals, right at ADP. Stavian Williams, right at ADP. McBride, right at ADP. And Kyle Pitts, a little bit early. Fannin, a lot early. It's a good squad, though. Burrow, Dak, Harvey, Judkins, cuffed to Dylan. Caleb, cuffed to Warren. Charbonnet, Lamb, Marvin, Jack Besh, Keenan Allen, Lee Gett, Royals, Savion Williams, and, you know, kind of thin at wide receiver. But all right, we'll see you later, my boy.
Yeah, and is Milrow like your biggest flyer?
Biggest rags to riches of the year, absolutely. Do it live. And, you know, you miss on something like that. Again, you know, what if you came out and said Tom Brady's my flyer? You know, and he didn't ever get his shot? Like, you would have been wrong, but, you know, it is what it is. I can't guarantee Milrow doesn't get hit by a truck crossing the street to the practice field or something. I can't control certain things, but if he gets, you know, I feel that he's the guy. I feel it. I don't just look at it and watch the film and go, yeah, I mean, I feel it, man. It just like I did with JD5, but JD5 is a different player, different level. But I'm just saying, there's a vibe where you're like, holy shit. I'm not going to let go of this. All right. Rock out. See you later, bro.
Appreciate it.
Travis, final thoughts.
Just 2 quick ones. Say we end up in the situation after preseason or, you know, even during the preseason where Sampson isn't factoring in. I don't think it'll happen, but if Judkins is just the guy, what's his ceiling? What do you see his ceiling as? RB2? An RB1? What do you see it as?
I think he's James Cook before the anomaly touchdown season last year. So James Cook was getting you 5, 6, 7 touchdowns or whatever it was. I think he'd only had 4.
All right, good RB2.
Yeah, I think that's what Judkins is. I don't think he's a running back 1. I think he, you know, could he change my mind? Sure. I'm not gonna know everything before the preseason even. You know, I could come back and be like, never mind. That's the one thing about me you'll find out if you're new to the channel. And hit subscribe if you are. We have literally like 20 more subscribers to get to 32K. So if you're watching right now, hit that subscribe button and help us get to 32K. Hit that thumb up button too. We got 59 thumbs up and over 100 people in here late at night. I think Judkins is he's gonna have a good year, but he is currently slated to not get all the work because they love Dylan Sampson. And I like Dylan Sampson more than Judkins before the draft. So is the draft capital of Judkins outweighing the upside of Sampson right now? Sure. But when the team comes out and says Judkins is our between the tackles running back, good. That's great to hear. Then they say Dylan Sampson's wide receiver potential is untapped. That means they like both of them. Now, you're right. They could say that and then not deploy it. Like, what if Dylan Sampson is not even, dressed for week 1? Then it's like, okay, I'm going to change my mind. I will. But I don't anticipate that now.
Curious on the ceiling because those things can happen. So.
Yeah, certainly would change and adapt and adjust like I always do. And I'll admit it right away. And then, I might be late. I might be later to the party than I want to be, but I can't always be the train conductor on every player. I know it sounds like we try to be, but there will be times where I'm like, "Hey guys, it's not week 1 yet. Can I get on?" And it'll be okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe I can't stand up and go, "We knew before everybody," but like Bucky wasn't somebody that anybody knew exactly what they were getting into. There was a lot of hype. We liked him. We never disliked Bucky at all, especially in the pre-draft stuff. It was kind of like, he's really crafty. Will a team, and I think we even said this once or twice, will a team like Sean Payton did in New Orleans say, hey, I think he's going to be my full-time guy? Because it would take that, because he's kind of thought overwhelmingly to be a change of pace back. And so you have to look at the prospect of that. But was anybody higher on him when he started to just barely scratch the surface? No, and that's okay too. To be on the train like that. So it's not, you're not always going to be on it from January. And like anybody that acts like you got to be, you could still be conducting the train. The train wasn't really even left the station yet for Bucky. And for Judkins though, the train has left the station, and that's one I'm going to have to tag along with if I do decide that this opportunity looks great.
And the thing is though, like if that's the case, like you said, adjust and adapt. I feel like so many people are either afraid to be wrong or too hard at it, and they miss out on guys in fantasy because they won't adjust. So,
yep. But just be careful with Judkins.
Why do you want to miss out on the guy if he's going to be the guy?
Just be careful with Judkins. This is a player that there's a loyal fan base to that have drafted him. There's a loyal fan base to people that held the pick that was probably going to get them Judkins because they miss out on Hampton, they miss out on Genty, and so they planted their flag and stake in Judkins, and they said, this is the guy I've lasered in on. And then when Sampson got drafted, they didn't change. They didn't want to change. People hate change. And the majority of the people that are going to say Judkins is the guy, like, don't you worry about it, those people have a high, and I'm not saying they're wrong, but they have a super rich investment in Judkins. And so you have to be very careful when you're reading comments and people are hyping up a player where you're wavering. There's people that have left a live stream, told me, that have left a live stream of mine where I'm literally beating a dead, and I'm not always right, I'm not saying that, but I'm beating a dead horse on a topic. And this is why sometimes when someone comes in here with a bunch of negative BS all the time, and there's a few people that in the beginning of the live stream, I saw a bunch of negative stuff, and I didn't, just be careful. Because when you come in and you try and combat everything that the channel is talking about, not that you shouldn't be able to voice your opinion, but if your objective is to literally just wait and shoot down everything that I'm saying or that the channel is trying to promote, there's a negative consequence to that, to the people that are watching. I've had people DM me before and say, Smitty, you were literally hitting home a point. And I was like, man, Smitty's might be right on this guy. And it was one stupid comment that someone made in the chat. Just like you're looking at Amazon reviews and they're all just glowing reviews, 5 out of 5 stars. And then you see that one review that says, this caught my house on fire. And you're like, I'm out. And you don't care about any of the reviews. People literally watch the whole show, be so amped about it. And there's an objective here to try and help people win based on my advice, not the advice of the hater in the chat. So you can sit here and go, oh, it's free speech. I can say whatever I want. You can't just come in and be negative. That won't be tolerated. That's your sole goal, is to come in and tear down what the show is trying to guide people towards. You'll be out of here as quick as I can snap my fingers. So if anybody thinks they could come in and just be a negative Noah, you're not going to last here long at all. Because it's those negative people that try and tear down everything that's being said that can influence somebody into making some stupid move because you think you're, a chat, wizard, a fantasy advice giver in the chat. So just a little lesson for those of you that earlier in the stream, I saw some damn near close negativity that almost got you zapped. All right, Travis, anything else?
Oh, I'm good. Talk to you later, Smitty. Thanks.
All right, later, bro. I'm out of here. Supernova time, I think. Got you zapped. Should we? All right, Travis, anything else? Should we? Damn iPad keeps connecting. Should we hit the supernova button? I think so. Thank you.
There are handfuls of Saturn, Mars, and Moon men, but only 8 can be supernovas. I give you the 8 best picks in fantasy football.
They are the 8 supernovas. They are the 8 supernovas. The hateful 8 supernovas.
The graduates, the generals from last year.
I'm looking at the 8 supernovas.
Look at our rookies, man. Harvey, Genty, Henderson, Hunter. Do it live. Look at our sophomores. Neighbors, Bucky, Thomas Jr. The only...
missing 41D, the first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
The only non-rookie or sophomore is Lamb. That's like a testament to the youth movement of the NFL players that are breaking out. Why we love rookies so much on this channel, why we love sophomores. This is a movement, a replacing of talent in the fantasy football and NFL player pool that is literally loaded with these first and second year guys. Look at this group. Hampton deserves to be on it too, to be honest. He probably does. But wow, look at this. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Also, additionally, live whenever big news breaks. Just come to the channel. Aaron Rodgers, becomes Pittsburgh Steeler tomorrow. We'll race over here and go live. So you got the Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. You got the live streams whenever news breaks. And you additionally got these graveyard shifts that are midnight Eastern nearly every night. So there's an opportunity for 3+ live streams every day on this channel. No one does it like we do. Appreciate you all. Get on over to the Patreon, which I'll hit that button here real quickly. The Patreon. In fact, I'll go over there right now. Travis will probably be there. I'll be there. Underdog. I'll do the Underdog in a second. Patreon. Here's the link to join the Patreon. It's in the description of any video if you decide to take this approach later and you're like, man, what was the Patreon link? It's in the description of every video, as is the Underdog link, as is the fantasyfootballshow.com. But this is $10 a month to cancel anytime live chat group. That's basically the live chat over here on the channel right now. The people you're chatting with live over on the Patreon, 24/7 live chatting. And then don't forget to get on over to my thefantasyfootballshow.com bold predictions rankings. In 2002, I couldn't find a trade calculator in the industry. So because there's no trade calculator in the industry, which is found at thefantasyfootballshow.com in 2002, I couldn't find it. And I said, I'll do it myself. See you on the Patreon. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Space Ricky. Thank you, Blackbeard. Thank you, Sick Nasty. Thank you, Vampy. Thank you, Kenny Powers. Thank you, Terry Roberts. DeBalt. I think that's all of them. Is that all my mods? Blackbeard, thank you, pal. Blackbeard in the shadows. Like the penguin. Lives in the dark. How you doing up there, Blackbeard, with the binoculars?